All right, so we got the Emperor's Children, the most evil legion from Crack Duck. Let's grab to it. Let's go.
Hi, friends. If
What's
you're
up, yo?
a big fan of debauchery, degeneracy, or the color purple, then let us.
I like purple. I think purple's cool. Yo, I had a question. I'm not the smartest guy in the bunch, but what does debauchery means? I'm not. I know what degeneracy means. I know that. That's down bad activity. Not really a big fan of that one. I do like purple, and I don't know this word.
A big old Doom Rider screech, because this is the video for you. Today, we're talking about perhaps the most depraved Space Marine Legion of them all, the Emperor's Children. These Marines are the main legionary force of the God of Excess Slaanesh, which means there's going to be an excessive amount of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. As well as excessive perfectionism to an appropriately grim dark degree. The Emperor's Children were the third founding legion, and their first aspirants came from the noble houses of Europa after they were defeated by the Thunder Warriors. The legion was nicknamed the Emperor's Children and were defined by their perfection, nobility, and the fact that they were willing to lead the Emperor's mortal armies in the early days of the unification.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be like completely real with you. I don't know why, and I actually said this in like previous videos. Bro, purple on like the Space Marine like armor looks absolutely fire. I don't know if that's like the Vikings edition, the Minnesota edition, whatever you want to call it, bro. The Barney edition. I'm gonna just keep it completely real with you. Purple looks absolutely fire on the on his armor. Purple and gold is crazy. It's fire.
Too elitist or too uppity to work alongside regular human soldiers in this way. During the Great Crusade, the Emperor's Children's stellar record and efficiency meant that the Emperor assigned them important missions, and they were colloquially known as his.
Oh wait. Yo, follow my Twitch down below, by the way. Appreciate it. I usually like say that at the beginning of the video, whatever. I forgot. My bad. My brain's in a frenzy.
Heralds. This is also where their purple
the
armor
heralds
originated, as it was meant to signify their royal duties. In addition to the purple, they also bear the Palatine Aquila. Now, this may not seem like a big deal in 40k since everyone and their mom wears the Aquila, but in the Great Crusade era, the Emperor's Children were the only legion allowed to wear it after they saved the Emperor in the Proximan betrayal, and they bore the icon to signify the Emperor's appreciation and reverence of the chapter.
Okay.
But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. These purple fellows were struck with tragedy when everyone's favorite Skelly boy stole a ton of the Emperor's Children's gene seed.
Still
and
ribs.
To make matters worse, their gene seed on Terra got infected with the Blight, which caused the Marines with the seed to experience rapid organ failure. The Emperor's Children culled the infected in order to save the Legion, but they were ravaged and only had 200 Marines left. Luckily for them, however, they would meet their fabulous Primarch Fulgrim on the mining planet Akimos.
Oh, wow.
Like his Legion, Fulgrim strove for perfection in all things and was a master duelist and smith. He brought his planet Akimos to prosperity with his technical know-how and political acumen.
Okay.
He went from a humble laborer to a ruling executive. He made the planet so darn efficient that the Kimosians made Fulgrim their glorious leader.
Oh.
Fulgrim also had a number of political marriages, so...
Dang, so he went from rags to riches for real. Okay.
You know what that means. Gulp. Upon reuniting with his sons, he gave a rousing speech that was so inspirational that the Emperor officially named his legion the Emperor's Children. So, with his sons, he further reinforced the perfection they strove for in order to honor the Emperor. And this was doubly important since they were so few. He also became enamored with the art since Kimos was a drab, boring planet. He taught his legion to appreciate the beautiful works of humanity, how to be more perfect duelists, and his skin and hair routine so that they would all be hotties. At first, the Legion was too small to do their own operations, so they had to work alongside the Luna Wolves while their numbers were rebuilt. Here, fighting alongside his brother, Fulgrim grew very close to Horus and highly respected him. Eventually, Fulgrim would get enough Marines to lead his own campaigns, and he split after Horus became War Master. In his crusades, Fulgrim constantly sought to improve and become more and more perfect. He would often flaunt and test his Legion's perfection by doing wacko strategies. For example, one time he took over an entire planet with just 7 of his legionaries, which, even for a
7,
is very nutty. Then, another one of Fulgrim's besties was Ferrus Manus. Both of the Primarchs sought to perfect themselves in their legions and bonded over their ideals. To signify their friendship, they gifted each other a master-crafted weapon, Fulgrim making the Warhammer Forgebreaker and Ferrus crafting the Fireblade.
Which is actually like the best weapon, like, you know, in the entire franchise, because you know Fulgrim made, not Fulgrim. Wait, didn't Vulcan make this hammer or nah? Because if Vulcan didn't make this isn't the best. But if Vulcan actually made this hammer, like I believe Vulcan made this hammer, but if Vulcan didn't make it, it's not the best. If Vulcan made it, it's the best.
So off to crusading they went. Under Fulgrim's command, the Emperor's children became renowned once more as one of the most efficient and threatening legions. But one fateful day, they were sent to conquer the world of Laerin. The Laers of Laerin were a snake-like Xenos species that, just like the Emperor's children, sought to perfect themselves. But they went further than just simple training. These snake boys would genetically modify their bodies and use chemical stimulants to suit whatever battlefield role they needed. This, in combination with their advanced tech, made them a formidable foe, and thus, Fulgrim's perfect legion was sent to exterminate them. The Administratum estimated that extermination would take decades to complete, but the Emperor's children are too perfect and too fabulous to play with snakes for that long, and they genocided the Laer in just a month. Although they took heavy casualties, this was still an insane feat from the Purple Boys. But this victory would be a defining moment for the Legion as Fulgrim claimed the Laer blade as a prize, and Fabius Bile took an interest in the biological experimentation the Laer practiced.
Hey man, hold up. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Hold up.
It would be a defining
Hold
moment
up.
for the Legion as
Hold
Fulgrim
up.
claimed the Laer blade as a prize, and
Hold
Fabius
up.
Bile took an interest.
I'm gonna keep it completely honest with you, brother. Shout out to you and everything you do in life. You know, I wish you nothing but prosperity, millions and more. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. You got two options. It's either you get rid of these, just call it, you know, a done deal, whatever. You know, good riddance. You just go bald. You just go bald, or you gotta head to Turkey or something, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, this cannot fly. This yo, what's his name from Seinfeld? Bro, oh my god. Not Kramer. The short dude with this haircut with the glasses. What's his name? I forgot his name. This could not fly, bro. It is not the 90s, bro. If you walk around in this, man, oh man, you're gonna get tortured. It's not the 90s where everybody was just, oh, this is the normal, like, 28, year old haircut. Nah. No. We're in a whole different time, buddy. 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, listen, they still got their hair, okay? And obviously, eventually, I'm going to be there, too. I'm going to still have my hair, respectfully. You got to let this thing go. Bro, you got to let it go, bro. You're going to scare all the senior citizens away.
Interest in the biological experimentation the Laer practiced. Later on, it would be recognized that the Laer were in fact Slaanesh worshippers, and the Laer blade was a demon sword. But that will be more important later on. It was also after this battle that the famous Noise Marines found their origin when a remembrancer created a symphony called Maravilha, or as the cool kids call it, Margaritaville. This song was so wicked rad and infused with Slaanesh energies that the audience started an orgy of both the sex and murder variety. The frequencies produced from the instruments were also said to be fatal and would serve as the basis to the Noise Marines' weaponry. More on them later, though.
What?
Anyway, if you didn't know, I went to LVO this last weekend, and it was a great time. I got to meet up with some YouTube friends and had fun at the convention.
Oh, that's nice.
However, I may have just went a bit overboard on the buying a ton of stuff department, and I bought a ton of stuff.
Oh, wow.
How
This is, I'm gonna be honest, since this is like Warhammer, right? So y'all may think, if you're like new to Warhammer, like I was like a few months ago, so you may think, oh well, this is at least like what, $300, $400, $500? Nah. Try again. I'm gonna say this right here, all these plus like the paint and stuff like that, because like all these are like all these, like you can like paint some of these, right, bro? All of this, I'm gonna say it's between at least $1,200 to $2,000, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, bro. This man wallet was screaming, bro. His bank account was sending this man like all types of like alerts and everything, yo. They was like, yo, are you sure that's you spending your card? He's like, oh yeah, it's me. The bank called him 8 times. Bro, his card declined. Not because he didn't have the money, it was because the bank's like, yo, you never spent this type of money before. What's going on? Like, you wanted to buy that house, right? Like, bro, his accountant was blowing up his phone, bro. Bro, Uncle Sam was smiling in the corner like this, rubbing his hands like Birdman. He couldn't wait to tax him. He said, yo, you spending $2,000 on Warhammer? Oh, bet. Oh, bet. Bro, Uncle Sam is in the corner like this, bro. In the corner like this, man. I can't wait till you report your income. I can't wait. I'm about to tax you so crazy. It's nasty. He said $2,000 on Warhammer? Bad.
Will I transport all this stuff once I finally build and paint it?
He's done though.
Well,
He's done.
thank
He's
goodness
done.
for today's sponsor, Tabletop Stronghold.
First of all, shout out to him for the sponsor. But bro, it don't matter. Uncle Sam is in his closet right now, bro. Every time this dude buys something new, bro, especially if it's Warhammer related, bro, that's at least $400 and up. Man, bro, it's over. The IRS is in that man's house, bro. They listen to, they're tapped in with everything, bro. With every purchase, they see everything, bro. They're just calculating it. Oh, he made how much money? How much money did he make last year? Oh yeah, we about to go crazy on him, man. Oh my God, we about to rob him, bro. We're about to rob him. Are you $2,000 on Warhammer? Oh yeah, it's done. It's done.
Tabletop Stronghold is a one-man company that makes excellent mini cases and MDF terrain. Their signature Mag Case 2.0 is really customizable with removable steel trays that slide out for easy access to your minis, and they're easy to rearrange in order to optimize the space your army's needs. The steel trays mean that you can magnetize your minis to be super secure for the drive to the local game store, and it even comes with a bunch of 3x2mm magnets to glue those bases. There's 3 different sizes based on your needs: a mini, a regular, and a mega. I use the regular size and it fits my 4,000-ish point guard army quite nicely. But even the mini version has a surprisingly big capacity, and the mega is, of course, well, mega. Speaking of mega, the cases are also mega durable, being able to hold up to 250 pounds. So I can rest assured that my lovely guardsmen and marines will be safe and sound. And right now, Tabletop Stronghold just started a winter sale with deals up to 30% off. Plus, there's free shipping to the US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and most of the EU. So, if this sounds good to you, check out Tabletop Stronghold and buy one of their sweet cases today. Another notable encounter was on the world of Tarsus, where Fulgrim met the legendary Eldrad Ulthwé. Eldrad foresaw Horus's heresy, which would fester from a fateful wound he received on Anathame. Fulgrim didn't like Eldrad dissing his homeboy and attacked the silly elf. He ended up killing a Wraith Lord, Avatar of Cain, and a ton of other elf guys. Afterwards, he also virus bombed a few Eldar Maiden worlds just to make sure they learned not to accuse Mr. Horus Heresy of any Horus Heresy-ing. Although he didn't believe the elf, Fulgrim went to confront Horus about his potential heresy, but he eventually got persuaded to join Horus. Hey, I heard from some elf guy that you're a heretic now. Tell me this isn't true. I hate heretics. Oh, hello, Fulgrim. Looking good. Yes, I know. I always do. Listen, I might be a heretic now, and I know you said you hate heretics, but okay, you convinced me. Let's kill the Emperor. Oh, really? Sweet, let's do it. Fulgrim wasn't actually swayed as easily as I made it sound, but his respect for Horus and manipulation from his very special sinister silver sword allowed the once zealously loyal Fulgrim to be corrupted, and he decided that the Emperor was actually hindering the perfection that humanity could achieve. After being convinced, Fulgrim tried to convince his bestie Ferris to also join Team Heresy, but Ferris was not so easily swayed and fought his former bestie. The two would meet again on Isfan 5 and would engage in their final duel. Using the weapons that were once a sign of friendship and brotherhood, the besties clashed. Both weapons were shattered, that's called symbolism, but Fulgrim eventually emerged victorious thanks to the Laer blade. With Ferris defeated, Fulgrim could not bring himself to kill his brother. But, luckily, the demon within the blade helped him out there. The demon possessed Fulgrim and beheaded Mr. Iron Hands. Then, Fulgrim had a bit of post-cut clarity, and he was horrified at the demon's actions, but not horrified enough to not let the demon within wholly possess his body and soul. Fulgrim would eventually exorcise the demon from himself, but at that point he decided he liked being an insane demon man, and basically did the same shit he did as a possessed insano, and he devoted himself to Slaanesh. Sometime later, Fulgrim completed a ritual to ascend to demonhood fully and became the snaky demon primarch we all know and, I guess some love. In his demon form, he was a near unstoppable force, wielding 4 arms, an agile snake body, big old demon wings, and possessing powerful psyker powers. By the Siege of Terra, the Emperor's children had all but abandoned their nobility and love for humanity. They only sought perfection and captured human slaves for the experiments needed to achieve their sinister goals. After the heresy, the Emperor's children splintered into war bands, continued their experiments, and became raiders to gather supplies and subjects. Although they had long abandoned their nobility and oaths, the children clung on to the pursuit of perfection. Their endless pursuit of perfection already made them the perfect legion for the god of excess, but once devoting themselves to Slaanesh, they took it to the absolute excessive extreme, and they found new and innovative forms of degeneracy. They fell to debauchery, creating powerful stimulants from their victims, slaughtering worlds in increasingly depraved ways, and seeking pleasure in the form of combat, drugs, and whatever else a silly pink marine might like. And also, quick aside here, a lot of people think that the Emperor's children and Slaanesh in general are just a sex faction. Haha, sex! But Marines don't actually care about that, and most of the time they get their thrills from drugs. Murder, and torture. Slaaneshi cultists probably like getting down, but not really Marines. They're certainly outliers, but it's not the entire faction. And anyways, using his findings on Laer, Fabius Bile tried to create genetically perfect Marines through genetic trickery and biological augmentation. He also became the leader of the Legion after Fulgrim supposedly fucked off to some hooker planet gifted by Slaanesh. But despite potentially different agendas, most Emperor's children became wholly possessed by their pursuit of perfection and went insane trying to achieve it. For a little bit after the heresy, the Emperor's children partook in a little civil war with the other Chaos Legions, using the conflict to experiment on enemy forces and then eventually on their own fellows Emperor's children. But Abaddon eventually mostly united the Chaos Legions, at least as unified a force called Chaos could possibly be. Then, afterwards, Eidolon sought to unify his legion and used his pillaged loyalist gene seed to recreate the Emperor's children gene seed and strengthen his legion to its former glory. So then, in the current time, the Emperor's children are one of the scariest foes to face since they'll do a lot more than just kill you. They specialize in terror raids and have some of the most skilled duelists, if not the most skilled duelists around. And the best of these duelists are called the Flawless Blades, and they serve as the champions of the Legion and were born of the remnants of the Palatine Blades of the Great Crusade. These dudes are masters with the blade and use combat stims to further their combat efficiency. They're said to have the perfect body for combat due to blessings from Slaanesh. You call them blessings, I call them being fuck ugly. Another special unit that were previously mentioned are the Noise Marines, and these dudes are some of the coolest things in 40k period. They really call back to the early days of GW, just throwing whatever cool stuff was popular at the time into the best setting ever. These glam rock, drugged up wackos go around performing the ancient song of Slaanesh to honor their god and slay their foes. This song was made by the Eldar and is said to be the final straw in birthing the god of excess. So now the Noise Marines sing this song to be one with their god and spread its influence. These Marines are heavily mutated and they use a cacophony of sonic weapons that bring great pleasure to themselves while literally killing their enemies with the power of satanic rock and roll. They can also make warp screams to further disorient their foes before the kill. But with that, overall, the Emperor's Children are a very cool faction. Admittedly, they've never been my favorite, but I understand the appeal of playing one of the most debaucherous and one of the most grim factions in a grimdark setting like 40k. Plus, the tragedy of their impossible goal of achieving perfection, causing a decline from noble protectors of humanity who were aspirational heroes into the horrifying sodomites, is quite fascinating, and I feel it demonstrates how one might fall to Slaanesh. I think it's also a bit sad that many just think that the Emperor's Children are the teehee sex faction, since them being the epitome of self destructive perfectionism and excess is a lot more interesting. These fellas are extra in every single field. They get excessively obsessed with being the perfect warrior, they get excessively obsessed with getting the perfect body, they get excessively obsessed with executing the perfect raid, and so on. I think this is a much more interesting and sympathetic path to Slaanesh than simple goonin'. In a creative hobby like 40k, I think most of us can relate to trying to paint the perfect model or creating the perfect list. But at the end of the day, you just gotta realize that sometimes good is good enough, and trying to achieve perfection will turn you into a gross, ugly mutant pinhead Larry who thinks he's hot. And of all the legions, they perhaps had the hardest fall, from noble protectors and artists who were mega devoted to the Emperor and humanity, to the most depraved psychos who sacrificed it all for their own selfish, fanatical obsessions. The fact that they retain the Emperor's Children moniker is also fascinating, as they represent the monsters that the Emperor inadvertently created with his own obsession to his impossible ambitions. But anyways, I'll make another video in the future discussing iconic characters like Fabius Bile, everyone's favorite Emperor's Child ever, Lucius the Eternal, and everyone's actual favorite Emperor's Child ever, Rylanor the Unyielding. But for now, that's been the Emperor's Children. Thank you again to